wow, they're putting the third match together. Cormier versus Stipe. You know, the first one I had Cormier winning just because of his wrestling skills, and he won. The second one I saw Stipe walking around at 228, I believe. He was light. And I thought that, you know, Daniel would be the bigger guy, but come to realize that Stipe's got his weight so low for the cardio reasons, for the speed reasons, to try to catch Cormier with the speed. And he got his hand raised. Stipe put in the right work. He put in the hard work, the footwork, the hand speed, and he was able to pull off the win. So I think this fight doesn't change. I think this goes exactly the same way as the second one. And Stipe wins by knockout because I know Daniel is at the pretty much end of his road. He said that the last couple of his fights that you don't know how much more he has left of this just because he's doing all the commentating stuff and he's doing a phenomenal job as being a commentator. But, you know, Stipe's life right now is fighting, and that's what he's loving and continue doing is dominate and putting his time in the gym. That's important.
DC, you got to go with DC. I hope DC gets that one done and retired and finish his career on a great fashion.
That's an extremely hard fight to predict. They're so closely matched up. I just had to randomly pick DC for this one. I think, you know, if he gets his wrestling going, it's going to be tough for Stipe. But what a hard fight to predict. Looking forward to that one.
This is a fight that if I were Stipe, I probably would have said no to, just because like with the heavyweights, it's so hard to predict because they all have that one punch knockout power, and like you never see it coming before it lands. But yeah, I think it's a gamble. You know, it's a 50-50 gamble with Cormier. I think he did really well in the last fight before he got dropped. He had the perfect game plan. He was pressuring. He was staying on the inside of Stipe's reach, and Stipe was kind of letting him. He was getting into that like phone booth boxing match. So he was doing well with that, but eventually, you know, Cormier got hit, and you know then it was over. But I think the game plan was right, and you know, if they do fight again, I think Stipe would probably have a much easier time if he kept him at distance. If Cormier pressures forward again, like just keeping him away with like push kicks and long punches and stuff like that. He kind of like wrestled him a little bit in the last fight, so you know, it's always like something you could think about, like switching it up if things start to get hairy. But yeah, I think Cormier has a good chance of winning the third fight.
I'm going with Stipe all day. Big Stipe fan.
That's a good fight. That's a great fight. Let's see. Last time Cormier was winning, he won 3 rounds until that 4th round, right? He is the motivation. I'm gonna go with I'll go with Stipe.
Woo! This is gonna be a tough one. Cormier versus Stipe Miocic. Man, this is a coin toss for me. I'm gonna have to go. Geez, you gotta think. I'm gonna go with like a 51% chance. I'm gonna go with Miocic. I think he's gonna be able to control it more with the distance. If he's not stupid to sit there and trade punches with Cormier, it's a big mistake. And I think he learned a little bit something with that left hand to the body will pay dividends. Very close fight though. Either he's gonna get knocked out or he's gonna win the fight.
That's I don't know. I kind of have a feeling that Cormier is going to get it back. You know, maybe use a little bit more of his wrestling. But then again, it's kind of like a coin flip. You know, I feel like Cormier definitely has the wrestling advantage. They both have great, you know, striking. They're both powerful. So it's like any one of them lands a big shot, it could be over. But I kind of feel like Cormier is going to get this one back.
DC,
yeah,
Lafayette, DC. Baby, let's go.
I'm gonna say DC.
That's where we're at right now. DC's hometown.
Yeah, Lafayette is Daniel Cormier's hometown.
That's such a tough one. You know, I know DC wants to fight one more time and retire, wants to fight on a win. But that's kind of tough going into that. Like, he's fighting one more time, and after that, he's done. So the mindset could be different when he's going into that training camp. And Stipe is not anywhere close to be retiring, and he wants to keep that belt and prove. I'm going to have to go with Stipe just because, you know, he's still in it and he's not looking to retire.
Yeah, I'm going to go with DC, of course. I can't not go with my guy. You know, he's got the monsters training with him in his home gym, and he's getting ready. He looks good. So I think it's going to be his last one, and he's going to put everything out on the table for it. Should be a good fight.
Cormier. You know, I think Cormier was the better guy, even when he lost that fight. I just think he you know, kind of ran out of steam. I think he's going to fix the mistakes that he made and come out better. I mean, being this is probably his last fight too, he's got to be putting everything he has into it. So I think he's gonna you know, end on a high note.
I think Stipe is gonna go ahead and just run it again. Like, DC had a good counter shot that caught Stipe off guard, but I don't think he'll be able to be strong enough to go ahead and be able to do it for the third time. I think this is gonna be that rubber match they're gonna need, and to see who's gonna be able to fight Jon Jones next when it comes into a heavyweight division. And I think this is gonna be DC's last fight at heavyweight, or probably not. I don't know.
So, okay, first fight, DC knocked him out. Second fight, he knocked DC out? Is that what happened? Yes. Fourth round. Right. I remember watching it. I think that DC is going to come in because it's his last fight and really want to put on a show. But I also think that he's somewhat out of the game. Like, he's ready to be out of the game. He has his kind of pride and legacy on the line, so I think he'll come in hard. But if it goes into those later rounds, I think that it's better for Stipe, and that Stipe will probably keep the title.
I'm going with my man DC. I love DC. Every time I see him, you know, I always, you know, give him his respect and stuff. So hopefully he can, you know, get this victory and then retire.
Yeah, I'm going with DC. I just think his last fight, his father was passing. I don't think that was all him. He doesn't make excuses, but I don't think he was all there. And I think he comes in a little bit more prepared. Don't get me wrong, Stipe's the man. He's a bad dude. But I just think DC's better than him.
Man, I'm going to go Cormier. That last fight was so fucking crazy, right? Like, you know, Cormier had the first two. Stipe took the second two. You know what? I backtrack. Take it all back. I got Stipe through and through. Because the more I think about that, the first fight, Stipe didn't look like himself at all the first round. And it was kind of like he found himself as the fight kept going. And DC sort of dwindled out. I think Stipe is going to come in with that champ mindset. He's not going to be shook at all when he steps in that cage. I think he's going to start out that first round better and then just continue to carry it out as the rounds progress. So I got Stipe, man.
Stipe. I feel like he just figured Daniel out. I don't think Daniel has what it takes to beat him. He's kind of too small in my opinion. And Stipe is a good athlete as well. He's a very smart fighter.
Ooh, I think Stipe will win. Man, I think he's figured out. You know, I think he's figured them out now. He's figured out DC's weaknesses, and I think he'll finish him again.
Oh God, I don't even want to see that fight. I just don't. It's like, I don't know. Like, my fire's out about that fight. It's like I don't know. I think they both pass out from fatigue. Is my prediction.
I'm going with DC for this one. DC is a champ. Everyone he has that champ mentality. This is supposed to be his last fight, his retirement fight. And, you know, some people say that it's going to be their last fight and it doesn't turn out the way they want it to. But I think that DC is someone where he's going to make sure that it does turn out the way that he wants it to. Miocic is so smart on his feet. And he made that adjustment last time where he was just hitting the body. But I think DC was winning before that. And so I'm pretty sure that DC is going to fix that hole and be ready and stick to his game plan with the wrestling like he should have last time.
Man, that's a hard one. I think DC is going to do the smart thing and just take him down. I mean, obviously, you've seen in that second fight that Stipe didn't have an answer, and I think DC kind of just wanted to knock him out or wanted to prove that he was good on the feet, but I think this time he just wants to win. I believe that he's going to just take him down and ground and pound him.
Whoever can adapt the best is going to win this fight, in my opinion. Like, there's a number of other factors, but I would say that would be the main one, as Cormier obviously has a strategy that has worked in the past. Miocic was able to adapt to that strategy, overcome it, and found his own body shot style strategy that he was able to work in the second fight. Now, what is the answer to Miocic's question? Right? And is Miocic able to nullify that clinch attack again of Cormier? These are the main questions, in my opinion. I think that Daniel Cormier is a winner. Like, he is very, very in tune with winning. He's been doing it for a very long time in a number of different areas. I believe that Daniel Cormier will be able to find a way to adapt to this new strategy that Miocic has put forth, and find to direct things either back towards his own clinch or perhaps to take Miocic down and smother him and with top control. If he's not able to adapt, if he's not able to learn any lessons from the previous failure, then yeah, Miocic is definitely just going to go and do exactly what he did last time. Maybe avoiding the clinch even more, as Cormier was hurting him with in the early rounds. Cormier decision with takedowns and top control.
I'm going to go with Daniel Cormier. He won the first fight, obviously. The second fight, I felt he was winning up until I think it was the fourth round. We started getting hit with those body shots. So I think it's a minor adjustment for him just to, avoid the body shots. And then I think he'll be able to kind of maintain the same momentum he had and win the decision.
And I'm gonna go with Cormier.
Well, they're 1-for-1 each. Stipe's up on the cards right now. He's the champ. Man, I'm gonna give it to Stipe. Stipe. Hold on. I say that, but DC might come back even. So honestly, that's I can't answer that one. That one's just Daniel. I mean, Cormier. He's Daniel Cormier, one of the greatest, and Stipe. He's hungry. So I mean, that's a toss up for me, brother.
Oh God, man, Daniel Cormier looked so good in the second fight up until he lost, basically, and oh man, I just think, man, father time for Daniel Cormier is it's a rough thing. I think he's 41, and he's going through some, I think, injuries and stuff, but so is Stipe. In the third fight, I'd probably give it to Stipe, and then Daniel Cormier retires with 2 losses.
I like both of them, but maybe Stipe.
Okay.
Stipe.
Woo! I'm going Miocic on that one. I really, really like Daniel Cormier. I know him. Like, I've met him a few times. I know him personally. He's a really cool dude, but I think Stipe's just got too much for him. He's too big of a fighter, which Cormier really struggles with. He's got enough wrestling to kind of stop DC's wrestling, and he's just a bigger, taller, lankier dude. And I think, honestly, I don't think DC's gonna be able to beat him. I think he's got DC's number now.
Daniel Cormier, his ability to mix up his wrestling with his striking. Daniel Cormier.
Man, I'm a big fan of DC's. If DC can pull it off in the first 2 rounds, he got it. But if it goes anything past 3, 4, 5, man, I think Stipe is going to catch him in the late rounds, man. But I'm pulling for DC. Hopefully he does it because that means that Jon Jones DC trilogy will happen. I'm excited for that one.